Princess Jeanne Bonaparte was a great-niece of Napoleon I of France, and the only daughter of Pierre Napoleon Bonaparte by his wife Justine Éléonore Rouflin. She was well known in French society as an artist and sculptor, and was married to Christian de Villeneuve-Lapon. Biography. Early life. Jeanne was born on 15 September 1861 in Orval Abbey in Belgium. She was one of 5 children born to her parents, although she only had one sibling that survived to adulthood, Roland Bonaparte. Though born during the reign of Napoleon III of France, her family was never well received at the French imperial court. Her grandfather Lucien Bonaparte had displeased Napoleon I by his marriage to Alexandrine de Blechamp, and had been consequently barred from his inheritance. In 1852, Jeanne's father was also barred from his inheritance, only receiving instead a modest income from Napoleon III's private purse. This divide was dramatically widened upon his announcement to marry Justine Éléonore Rouflin, as he refused to give his consent to the match. Rouflin's great wealth managed to support her husband and children. After the collapse of the Second French Empire in 1870, Jeanne and her family, like other Bonapartes, were sent into exile. Their family moved to Brussels, and later to London. Pierre died soon after, forcing his wife to be the sole earner in the family. Justine opened a dressmaking shop called Princesse Pierre Bonaparte, Marchand de Confections pour Dames, but was forced to close it down within a year due to a lack of customers. It was not until 5 years after Pierre's death that their fortunes started improving. The children of a well-educated mother, Jeanne and her brother were given outstanding educations. While in London, an old French officer whose father had served under Napoleon I took pity on the family. He made arrangements for Roland to be permitted to return to France and enter a military school. He also provided for Jeanne, sending her to an art school in Paris. Jeanne took lessons in painting and engraving. At the art school she attended, she became acquainted with the wealthy Monaco heiress Marie Blanc. She was responsible for introducing Marie to her brother, and the couple were later married. Jeanne's talent as an artist was displayed in 1878 at the Exposition des Beaux-Arts. Jeanne was preparing to earn herself a living when the marriage of her brother to Marie changed their fortunes considerably. She continued to work as a sculptor and artist, however. She lived in Marie's hotel on the Rue Rivoli leading up to Marie and Roland's wedding, and often smoothed over any arguments between the two. Marie reportedly gave her 1 million francs. Marie's father gave her a further 1 million francs. After receiving this large fortune as a dowry, marriage offers came from all directions. Her family wished that she choose a marriage for love, and not simply the highest ranking. Marriage. In 1882, Jeanne married Henri-Marie Christian de Villeneuve-Lapon, 10th Marquis de Villeneuve-Lapon in Paris. He was a former officer in the army of Don Carlos of Spain, and belonged to one of France's most noble families. He was very intelligent and well-educated. In his youth, he did much traveling. Upon his return from fighting in Spain, he devoted himself to the study of literature and history. His writings were much admired by critics. One observer commented at their wedding, "Jeanne Bonaparte advanced up the nave leaning on the arm of her brother. She has little of her mother's striking beauty, although she resembles her a good deal, but she is tall, distinguished-looking, and has a wealth of raven tresses." Jeanne and Christian had 6 children. Later life. Jeanne had a Paris salon that was frequented by illustrious writers and painters, as well as the cream of American society. Her husband was, apart from politics, mostly interested in occultism. George Greville Moore, an English officer, was a contemporary of Jeanne's. He wrote that she used to make a great display of toilette at certain balls. She was remarkable for her beauty, which was more of the Oriental style. She was very dark and had a sallow complexion, but beautiful black eyes and long eyelashes. I remember one evening everyone crowding around the staircase to see her arrive at a ball. On that occasion she wore a white dress trimmed with water lilies, with a tremendously long train, and no jewelry whatsoever. She rarely, if ever, danced. Her long train scarcely allowed it. On the 21st of November 1907, Jeanne served as a witness for the marriage of her niece Princess Marie Bonaparte to Prince George of Greece and Denmark. Jeanne died on the 25th of July 1910 in Paris, at the age of 48. Ancestry.